sa Mindanao College in high school, particularly in senior high school, and I've been handling business finance, business mathematics, statistics and probability. Last year, I'm also handling political science and discipline and ideas in social sciences, and now it's the general mathematics for new subject and business finance. That's it.
Okay, thank you
And
so much.
1 year and a half
Okay.
in teaching
Medyo dugay-dugay
here
na
in
gyud.
NCMC.
So, yeah. As sa atong convo kaganina na imagine orient ka na nako ili maka questions. So, aside from those 5 questions, I'll be giving
Yes,
some
no.
follow-up questions para murag mas deepen pa to siya gamay. So, let's not waste some time and I'm gonna ask you the first question. So, for the first question, what are the teaching styles you have incorporated during your teaching journey?
There are so many teaching styles. It depends on teachers' personality. But for me, when I was teaching here in NCMC for the first year that I had, so I've been 2 styles of teaching. I think that is the authoritative teaching, that is teacher-centered, and the other one is the hybrid or the blended, wherein the cooperative style of teaching, wherein activity style, which is a student-centered learner. So, the styles of the teacher, it depends on the subjects, and it depends on the lessons that they are going to teach on that particular day. That was my experience during my 1.5 year in CMC.
So, in that experience, which strategy is much more effective?
More effective. I couldn't say that the authoritative is more effective because number one is our learners has a diverse capabilities of learning. It depends on how they will going to be learned, no? May mga students na they will learn through activities, and there are still students that they are really learning from their lecture or authoritative way of learning, teaching, no? So we couldn't say that the effective is authoritative or it is hybrid, as long as the students were able to understand the particular teaching methodology, and then that's it. That's the effective way of teaching.
Also, you have mentioned the diversity of learners. So, how do you handle that diversity?
Diversity of learners, there are classifications of that, especially that NCMC has a philosophy wherein multiculturalism, where there are so many cultures here, like Maranaos, Tausug, and Protestants, and different races, and also there are LGBT community also. These are part of diverse community, and specifically in academic, no, learners also had different learning styles. No, they have musically inclined. They have a yung iba is they are nag-learn sila doon sa lecture, purely on lecture, on activities. No, they have different learning styles, and that is diversity. But in my subject as mathematics, the teachers, for me, it depends on the availability of the facilities, the availability of the content of the lessons, in particularly in school, and more often we are using lectures, and here in NCMC also, particularly in high school, half of the students are Muslims, and the other percent is Christians. In mathematics, it is general teaching, no, wala siyang inaano na culture. While when you are teaching, I've experienced is also teaching political science and social sciences. we have to be very careful on discussing lessons that particularly could reflect on the part of other cultures, no? And we are NCMC is always had a goals that we have to accept different cultures, different diverse learners like LGBTQ. No? So no what do you call it? Abuses. So I think we should be the facilitator and a perfect of discipline in the classroom. So that's how could I handle the diversity of learners.
So, based on your answer, I can sense that it is really a challenge to handle the diversity of the students. But how do you handle or how do you get along with that diversity during this pandemic?
Oh, so during this pandemic, we have this new normal of learning, and we have this kind of different strategies of giving learners, giving a delivery of lessons to the learners. And this diversity has already been in wide range, no, nagiging wide range because number one is the places, no, the address of the students where we have to adjust on the address of the students, the hometown of the students, particularly in Muslim area, and we also have to adjust because we adjustment is very increasingly or highly needed, no? And adjusting doon sa mga binibigyan natin ng modules, no? In the new normal, we have this online. So nakadepende riyan sa socio-economic status ng bata. If ever hindi siya makaka-afford ng internet, that is part already of diverse learners, no? The capability of students on how they were able to adjust in the new normal, especially in online, and also in blended. If you have a radio, okay, meron ba silang radio? So nakadepende again, particularly in socio-economic status of the students. And one of that is economic. Number two is the address, no? Yung mga hometown ng mga bata. So we need to adjust in that particular delivery modalities that we had.
So far, does not to pero nakakontak pa ba tanan nimong students gikan sa katong or I mean is kompleto pa ba imong students up until now gikan sa enrollment padron karon na month?
Yes, we are up to date. The teachers will really have to up to date the students, and there are, I think, all of the statistically there are 1% and there is a 1% population or number of students enrolled in NCMC that we could not reach their hometown or contact numbers. It's because the one reason is they have anxieties on, particularly in this kind of pandemic, no? And there are reasons also that they have to stop in school because of some personal reasons. That is normal, even though it is normal, it is already a reasons na, no? So in this new normal, in reaching the students, though it is very hard, but the teacher would really do their best to up to date those contact numbers for the sake of their learning. That's it. So yes, makokontak pa rin sila.
And I salute you, sir, for that one. So for the next question we have here, what are the ways of enhancing or improving the education? Again. What are the ways of enhancing or improving the education?
What are the ways of enhancing improving the education? Yeah. So, as if we will relate that on this pandemic crisis, no, we have a different strategies and we have adjustments, no. The old normal, we have the curriculum guides, right?
The CG.
So in the new normal, we have the most essential learning competencies, meaning we are not following na the CG, but we are following na the yung mga adjustment ng MELC. May bago ng fina-follow tayo for particularly coming from CG. So instead of, there are 30 lessons, dito sa new normal, mag-discuss na lang tayo ng 20 lessons. Now, how we be able to enhance? Number one is the teacher should be able to study on, particularly on the basic lessons. We are not more on very complex, but we have be focusing on basic one, especially that the students are having a mental we have our subject mental health. It's because some students having their anxieties because of this pandemic. So we will not pressure the students on their academic status, but we have to enhance as well, especially the basic one. So as of now, we will adopt the philosophy of education. We are using perennialism, wherein we have to go to the basic so that the students will know the complex one. So it is very important to teach the basic one before it reaches to the complex. So enhancing the education, quality education, it is the teachers who will
An eternity later.
Oh, yeah, sorry for that, sir.
wala.
Yeah. So, yeah, perennialism and go on.
Tama ba yun? Kalimutan ko.
Oh, nilagyan siya. So, ayan. So, let's jump on this last question. So, it says here that what is your opinion about education and what are the things you have done to be a globally competitive teacher?
What are my views on
What are the things you have
education?
done so far to be called a globally competitive teacher?
So if we are talking about global education, ma'am, nag-feedback ko, ma'am, lahit kayo paminang.
Yeah. Sorry. Sige. Ana.
So if you are talking about global education, it is a broad, no? It is a study of culture, economic, and geopolitical, geographical of the particular places and regions in the world. We have to study the economic status of the regions in different countries in the world. Now, what are my views? No, or as a teacher, we have to educate only in locality and lessons regarding in this nation or this locality. We have also to develop new learnings inside regarding globally competitiveness. Before you are before a teacher become a globally competitive teacher, the student first to have a globally competitive learners. If you cannot produce students globally competitive, your teacher is also not globally competitive. So in that way, we have done. So I'm just teaching on senior school. So we expect, we could not teach higher than from higher education, just like in college. But at least I've done it so far, especially in mathematics and political science and social sciences subject that I'm studying in this school. So there are so many also lessons that I've learned, not only in the curriculum guides that we are provide like curriculum guides, but also I have insights I give to my students of being a personal development, personal development towards um, professionalism
Mm-hmm.
and being a globally competitive learners,
Yeah.
fully aware of the laws and fully aware of the policies in the national government or church government. So I think that is it for so in a basic education system here in
Mm.
Philippines. No, talking about basic education, so it's limited on teaching the students, dealing especially in globally competitive students and of being globally competitive leaders.
So yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it. So I was planning to ask you some words of encouragements for us future educators, but I guess you wrap it up in your last answer. So at this point, I'm gonna be thanking you a lot for this opportunity. Thank
Yes,
you
you're
so much,
welcome.
sir.
It's my privilege also.